Hi, it's time for a devotion from history. In 1170, a little baby was born in Spain, and they named him Dominic. His mother raised him until he was 7, when she turned him over to the care of an uncle who was a priest. Dominic thrived in the monasteries where he was in. He loved the libraries, and he loved his books. Well, when he was a little older, he went on a trip into France with another bishop. While he was there, he was greatly disturbed at what he saw. Theology in France was very weak. The teaching was quite bad, and so heresy was rampant. And this really bothered young Dominic, who felt a zeal for truth and good preaching. So he decided to organize a preaching tour throughout France. And he went from one side of the place to the other, preaching the good doctrine of the gospel of Christ. By 1215, he had recruited several other preachers to travel with him, so that he could get more done. And soon the Dominican Order of preaching friars was in not only France, but Germany, Spain, and even into England, where they settled at Oxford University. Now, Dominic continued to preach until he died in 1221, on this day, August 6th. And he had established more than 60 monasteries of the Dominican Order, who were the watchguards of good theology. But even a good thing can take a bad turn. And that's what happened with the Dominican Order. Their symbol became a watchdog, and they were called the Hounds of the Lord. And when it came time that the king wanted to establish a great Inquisition, guess who he chose to be the chief inquisitors? The Dominican Order. And they began to load up suspected heretics by the wagonful. And rather than preaching to them, they chose to use dungeons and torture. Now, it's sad that even though God had inspired St. Dominic to start a good thing with good theology and good teaching, even the devil, the author of heresy, managed to corrupt the very cure, and that was the preaching of God's Word, when he got the Dominicans focused off of good teaching and onto trying to convert by persecution. We need to remember this old line: a man converted against his will remains unconverted still. And we can be the kind of people who focus so much on good theology and good teaching and eradicating heresy that we become ourselves so far from the heart of God that perhaps when God looks at us, he doesn't even recognize us. It's about more than just being right. It's about being good. Let's be good today. I'll see you tomorrow on Devotions from History.